Bird Box Barcelona on Netflix. Don't have to wait for digital there. It's already there.
Yeah, don't have to wait for much. If you've seen the first one, you already know how this one ends.
Come on.
So yeah, Bird Box Barcelona. It is a strange spin-off. It takes place because the first Bird Box was fractured over two timelines. When the initial invasion of these strange beings happened, and then 5 years later. So this one takes place slap bang in the middle of that, and it's the clue's in the title, folks. It's actually happening in Spain. We join a father and daughter some 9 months after the initial invasion. They're roaming the streets of Barcelona for just trying to survive, but very, very quickly it becomes apparent there are ulterior motives for them looking for survivors. I won't say any more. It is for me where the first Bird Box worked and what set it apart from its very obvious influence at the time that you couldn't get out of your head no matter how many times you tried, A Quiet Place, was the unique nature of the impact of these beasties, shall we say. The notion of one glimpse of these things instantly drives you to suicide is just inherently creepy, because there are lots of people who suddenly decide to commit suicide in some of the most horrendous ways imaginable. And there's just something it gets under your skin, the notion. And it's the same here. It's a great central premise. It leads to some really tense set pieces. They've upped the death quotient, shall we say. But two very, very big buts here. This is the first of many, many apparent sequels that are going to take place at various points throughout this invasion. And it knows it. And so you end this film, you are now 2 films into this franchise, and you know as much about these creatures as you did 30 seconds into the first film. It almost goes out of its way to not tell you anything at all about them. Sorry, apart from setting up a sequel that hints that you might find out something in that film. It's everything you've seen in the first film. It's everything you've seen in plenty of dystopian, nightmare future dystopian films. The good to pretty poor VFX work is showing you ruined cities you've seen countless times before across video games and hundreds of other TV shows. The iconography is familiar. There is almost a sense of that familiarity breeding contempt by the time you get through this. It doesn't do enough to separate it either from the first film or from countless other zombie, plague, pandemic, you name it, other films out there. It's a good watch. There is some interesting stuff in here which I don't want to go into in terms of the plot, but it does more with this idea of the seers that were introduced very briefly in the first film. These are a few that don't commit suicide when they see these creatures. They go a little bit mad, and that is explored a little bit more in this film, alongside some very, very heavy-handed digs at organized religion and various other bits of society and you name it. But it's got a very nice European feel. It's in Barcelona, but there's a mixed motley crew of people. So you get Spanish being taught with German, with English. It's got a very different feel from the first Bird Box, even if narratively it's pretty much still exactly the same film. So if you really like the first film, you'll probably quite enjoy this one, but it's ultimately way less satisfying because it knows it's a stepping stone to more films. It doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't do anything massively different. It feels like it's a treading water entry into a much bigger franchise. But, hey ho, if you're up for it, you might enjoy it.
Hey ho, indeed. Yeah. I'm not sure that's going to the top of my list.
Probably not.